Have you ever paused for a moment and considered, who would truly miss me if I weren't around tomorrow? It's a profound question, isn't it? It makes you think about the kind of impact you're having on the lives of those around you. Are you someone's beacon in the storm? Someone's confidant, their pillar of strength, or their source of laughter and joy? Today, we're diving into something really special, understanding the significant roles we play in each other's lives, particularly focusing on the chosen ones. These are the folks who don't just pass through our lives. They leave footprints on our hearts, change our paths, and shape our destinies in ways that, once they're gone, their absence feels like a piece of ourselves is missing. Imagine this. Someone out there might be thinking about you right now, feeling grateful for your kindness, your words of wisdom, or just the sheer comfort of knowing you're there. You are that irreplaceable person to someone, just as someone else is to you. But often, we realize the value of these precious relationships only in hindsight, after we've lost them, and we're left with a shadow of regret. That's not a place any of us want to be, right? So let's embark on a journey today to uncover the power of the bonds we share, the profound impact we can have on one another, and how we can learn to cherish these connections every single day. Stay tuned, because you're about to discover just how impactful and cherished you truly are. And trust me, by the end of our chat today, you'll look at your relationships. Let's begin by diving into what makes someone a chosen one. These are not just ordinary people. They are beacons of light in our lives. Think about someone who always seems to know just what to say. Someone whose mere presence brings calm to chaotic days. These individuals possess qualities like immense compassion, an unwavering sense of justice, and a deep-rooted wisdom that seems to go beyond their years. Now, you might be picturing someone in your life right now. That person who always encourages you, who prays for you without fail, who stands by you no matter what. That's a chosen one. Their impact? It's profound. They inspire us to be better, to reach higher, and to love more deeply. And the beauty of it all is that they often don't even realize the extent of their impact. But let's get a bit more personal here. I want to tell you about Mrs. Thompson. She was my Sunday school teacher growing up. Always had a smile, and her eyes, well, they twinkled with kindness. Mrs. Thompson had this gentle way of making each of us feel incredibly special, like we could do no wrong in her eyes. And it wasn't just in how she taught us about faith. It was in how she lived her life, how she treated people. You see, she embodied those traits that make someone a chosen one. Her impact on me, I wouldn't be here sharing this with you if it weren't for her influence in my life. Now take a moment. Think about your Mrs. Thompson. Who comes to mind? Hold that thought, hold that feeling. These chosen ones, they set themselves apart without any intention to stand out. It's in their nature to elevate those around them, making us feel seen, heard, and valued. Their absence, should it ever come, leaves a void that's not easily filled. But their legacy? It lives on in us, in how we treat others, in how we live our lives, and in how we pass on what we've learned. This is the impact of a chosen one. It's not measured in the accolades they receive or the recognition they're given. It's felt in the hearts they touch, the spirits they lift, and the lives they change. And the truth is, we all have the potential to be that person for someone else. We all have that light within us, just waiting to shine brightly onto others. So, as we reflect on these special individuals in our lives, let's also ponder how we can embody those same qualities. How can we too become a chosen one for someone else? It starts with a choice to live purposefully, to love generously, and to lead with kindness. Remember, the impact of a chosen one goes beyond just being remembered. It's about inspiring change that lasts a lifetime. Let's talk about a feeling we've all encountered at some point. Regret. Specifically, the kind of regret that comes from losing someone truly special in our lives, a chosen one. It's a deep, sometimes aching realization that hits us when it's too late, when that person is no longer a part of our daily journey. You know, regret isn't just about missing someone. It's a reflection of the impact they had on our lives and the void their absence creates. It's that moment you wish you could have one more conversation, one more chance to appreciate their wisdom, their kindness, or simply their presence. Spiritually, this kind of regret can feel like a wake-up call. It reminds us of what truly matters, not the material things, but the relationships we build and the love we share. The Bible talks a lot about cherishing those God places in our lives, warning us not to take anyone for granted. Because when we lose someone who has been a guiding light, a mentor, or a dear friend, the emptiness can seem overwhelming. But here's the thing. This feeling of regret can also lead us to change. It teaches us to value people more, to express our gratitude, and to not let another chosen one slip through our lives unnoticed. Let's hold on to that lesson and let it guide us in how we treat those around us from now on. Let's take a moment to reflect on a passage from Scripture that resonates deeply with our discussion about loss and appreciation. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, it says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." This verse reminds us that life is full of seasons, times of joy, times of sorrow, times of coming together, and times of parting. What this verse really brings home for us today is the idea that every encounter, every relationship, has its appointed time. And it's in understanding this that we begin to appreciate the value of each moment we share with our chosen ones. It teaches us that while we cannot control the coming and going of these precious seasons, we can cherish them while they're here. We can make the most of our time with those special people God places in our lives, knowing that each moment is a gift, not to be taken for granted. So, as we think about this scripture, let's ask ourselves, are we truly appreciating those around us? Are we making the most of the time we have? Let this be a reminder to live fully, love deeply, and always express our gratitude for those who touch our lives. Let me share a story about Mark, a man who learned the hard value of appreciation a little too late. Mark had a friend named Sarah. Sarah was the kind of person who lit up a room just by walking into it. She was always there for Mark, supporting him through thick and thin, offering advice, sharing laughs, and praying for him during tough times. But, like many of us, Mark got caught up in the busyness of life. He often took Sarah's presence and support for granted, never fully expressing how much he valued her friendship. Then, unexpectedly, Sarah moved away due to a family obligation. It was only in her absence that Mark truly understood the depth of what he had lost. The phone calls became less frequent, and the distance felt more profound than just miles. Mark missed her guidance, her companionship, and the way she made him feel seen and heard. He realized he had never told Sarah how crucial she was to his life, how her support had been a cornerstone in his darkest times. This realization hit Mark hard. He started reaching out more, trying to bridge the gap with phone calls and letters, expressing all the things he'd felt but had never said. But it wasn't the same as having her there, sharing those everyday moments. Through this experience, Mark learned the painful lesson of not waiting until it's too late to tell the people we care about how much they mean to us. From Mark's story, we can all take away a crucial lesson. Let's not wait to express our love and appreciation for those around us. Let's tell our chosen ones today, right now, how much they matter. Because we never know when the season of togetherness might shift, leaving us wishing we had said more when we had the chance. If you're wrestling with the weight of regret, like many of us do, remember, healing is a journey. And it often begins with forgiveness, forgiving ourselves. In the scriptures, we are constantly reminded of God's boundless forgiveness towards us. Let's take a cue from that. God doesn't hold on to the past. He is always moving forward, and He invites us to do the same. Start by letting go of what could have been and focus on what can still be. Embrace the lessons learned from the chosen ones who've graced your life. Use those lessons as stepping stones to better your relationships today. Reach out, mend bridges, express love, and be present with those still around you. And most importantly, pray. Pray for strength to release the past and for the wisdom to appreciate the people in your life right now. This is how we heal. This is how we grow. Let's switch gears a bit and talk about recognizing our own value and how each of us might be a chosen one in someone else's life. It's easy to overlook the impact we have on others, especially when we're just going about our daily lives, not realizing how even the smallest actions can mean the world to someone else. First, let's consider what it means to be a chosen one ourselves. Think about those times when you've offered a word of encouragement, lent a helping hand, or just listened when someone needed to talk. These acts might seem small to you, but to someone else, they could be the turning points that help them through a tough day or a difficult decision. Now, think about the impact you have on others. You might not see it day to day, but your kindness, your patience, and your faith can inspire and uplift those around you. Have you ever received a thank you note out of the blue or a heartfelt "you really made a difference"? Those moments are signs that you are a chosen one to others, impacting lives in ways you might not even realize. And what about our spiritual empowerment? When we recognize that we can be chosen ones, it strengthens our faith and our connection to others. It's like a light bulb moment where we see that what we do matters, not just in the earthly sense, but in the spiritual realm as well. This recognition can motivate us to live more purposefully, to align our actions with our faith, and to make our spiritual journey one of active love and service. Finally, let's talk about actionable steps. How can we actively take up the mantle of being a chosen one? It starts with intention. Begin each day with the decision to be kind, to be compassionate, and to be present. Look for opportunities to bless others, whether it's through volunteering, supporting a friend, or simply offering a smile to a stranger. Remember, it's the small acts accumulated over time that make a profound difference. Imagine if each of us lived like this, aware of our impact and actively seeking to bless others. Think of the ripple effect that would have in our communities, in our families, and in our churches. It's powerful to consider that we can be the chosen ones for others, just as others have been for us. So today I challenge you. Think of how you can be a chosen one in the lives of those around you. Reflect on this, pray on it, and then take action. It's within each of us to make an incredible impact, and it starts with recognizing the value we all carry within us. Now that we've explored the impact of chosen ones and how we can each be one in someone else's life, let's delve into the power of appreciation. It's one thing to recognize the value in others, it's another to actively show it. Appreciation isn't just a nice to have, it's a must-have in our relationships, serving as the glue that keeps connections strong and meaningful. First up, why is appreciating others so important? Well, when we make it a point to show gratitude, we're not just making someone else feel good, we're also nurturing our own spirit. Each act of appreciation sends a message. I see you, I value you, and you matter to me. This reinforces the positive dynamics in our relationships and builds a foundation of mutual respect and love. Now, let's talk about some simple ways to show appreciation. It can be as easy as saying thank you more often, not just in passing, but with sincerity. Take the time to tell people what you appreciate about them. Is it their kindness, their wisdom, the way they always make time for you. Let them know. It can be through a note, a call, or even face-to-face. These moments of acknowledgement are precious and can strengthen bonds in ways you might not expect. And what about sharing these moments of appreciation? I encourage you to not only do this in your private life, but to share these stories in your communities. Whether it's at church, a community meeting, or online, share how someone has made a difference in your life. This not only uplifts the person you're appreciating, but also inspires others to do the same. Lastly, let's consider how we maintain these bonds of appreciation. It's about consistency. Don't let your gratitude be a one-off thing. Make it a habit to acknowledge and appreciate the people in your life regularly. This could mean setting reminders to check in with friends and family, or making it a point to celebrate the small wins as much as the big ones. Remember, relationships thrive on continued appreciation, not just occasional acknowledgement. Imagine a world where everyone felt appreciated. Think about how much lighter, how much happier, how much more connected we would all feel. That's the power of appreciation. It doesn't just change the day for someone, it can change lives. And it starts with us, right here, right now. So, as we wrap up today's discussion, I want you to think of someone who has been a chosen one in your life. Have you told them how much they mean to you? If not, maybe it's time to do that. Let's make the effort to not only recognize, but to appreciate the light others bring into our lives, knowing well that every little bit of gratitude goes a long way in nurturing our souls and our communities. As we come to the end of our time together today, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've shared. We've delved into the profound impact of chosen ones in our lives, those special individuals who make such a deep imprint on our hearts and souls that their absence leaves a tangible void. We've also explored how each of us has the potential to be a chosen one for someone else, to be that irreplaceable presence that guides, supports, and uplifts. Remember the key insights we discussed today. First, the traits that make someone a chosen one: compassion, wisdom, and an unwavering spirit. These aren't just lofty ideals, they are practical qualities that we can all strive to embody in our daily interactions. Then, the importance of recognizing our own value and the value of those around us. How every kind gesture, every word of support, and every moment of genuine connection contributes to a richer, more fulfilling life. We also touched on the bitter sting of regret that comes from not appreciating these special people until they are gone. But more importantly, we discussed how this regret can teach us to cherish and value the present moments more deeply. It's a call to live more intentionally, to make sure that those we love know how much they mean to us before it's too late. And finally, the power of appreciation. How showing gratitude not only enriches the lives of those we thank, but enhances our own lives as well. It creates a cycle of positivity that can transform communities, heal old wounds, and bridge the gaps between us. So, I challenge you, don't let this message end here. Take it with you, share it with others, live it every day. As we close, I want to leave you with a thought and a prayer. The thought is this: every day is a new opportunity to be someone's chosen one, to be the reason someone believes in the goodness of people. And the prayer is that you find the strength and the courage to fill that role, to be that person who makes a difference, who leaves a legacy of love and kindness. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a privilege to share this time with you, to explore how we can all live more meaningful lives through the lessons taught by the chosen ones among us. Keep those stories coming, keep the faith strong, and remember, in the grand tapestry of life, every thread counts, especially yours. God bless you, and until next time, keep appreciating, keep loving, and keep being the light in someone's life.